Hello, friend. Thank you so much for joining me over on YouTube. I just want to give you a quick heads up that the training that you're about to see was originally recorded via Facebook Live over on our Facebook page. If you like what you see and would like to learn more, make sure you join us over on Facebook for weekly tips and tricks to help you grow your direct sales business and work smarter, not harder.
Hi, friends. Happy Tuesday. I'm excited about our topic today. If you haven't joined me before, my name is Mary Haynes. I am a direct sales strategist and founder at Savvy Selling. Super excited that you're here. Today, guys, we're talking about habits. It is a new year. We're kind of halfway through the first month. We are halfway through the first month. So we want to talk about habits and what should we be doing right now? And how do we get our habits back in order after all of the craziness? I thought it'd be fun to talk about what are the 7 habits of successful direct sellers? Because, like most people, you're probably thinking about just kind of getting back into routines, getting your stuff back together, getting all those pieces and parts back together for your business. Let's talk about the habits that you should be building, right? What are those things that you should be doing on the regular to make sure that your business is successful in 2023? This is based on my time in the field, my time coaching other people and training other people, my time just kind of watching and observing people and really like also as a business owner, things that maybe I've let slip. Sorry, I'm still dealing with a cold. So things that I've let slip and had to revamp and reevaluate. All right. And honestly, guys, as humans, when you think about it, our habits can either make or break us, right? Our habits of eating chocolate cake, or habit of drinking coffee, or habit of drinking enough water, or daily exercise. Like those habits can make or break you in life, and they can make or break you in business. So let's talk about them. So I've got 7. So habit number one is prioritizing income producing activity or forward moving tasks. And what I mean by that is, how do you structure your day? Like, how do you structure your day? What do you do first? And that's what I mean by prioritizing. It's really easy for us to get caught up in the kind of the tyranny of the urgent emails, messages, things like that, when that may not be the thing that is going to move our business forward. So how are you prioritizing every day those forward moving tasks? I'll give you a perfect example. So you guys know I have 4 kids. I homeschool. One is out of the house in college. And so the 3 boys are still home. And so I get up every morning around 6 before my boys are up. They're teenage boys. They like to sleep in. So I get up for a couple hours and I work on whatever my big quarterly goals are, whatever those big forward moving tasks are before everything else happens, before I check email, before I check Facebook, before I do anything else. I spend an hour or 2 working on those forward moving tasks. That's how I prioritize income producing forward moving tasks. So how are you doing that in your day? Are you just laying in bed scrolling through Facebook? Are you jumping in and answering messages and email? Or are you putting those important, really forward moving tasks first? So I know at the end of the day, even if I fall to the tyranny of the urgent, if there is something else that has to pull my time away, I'm not stuck and I'm not like, oh, I didn't get that big thing done, right? So that's the thing that we have to do. So number one is prioritize those forward moving tasks or income producing tasks first in your day. Make it a habit of prioritizing that. Habit number 2, never stop learning. Okay. When you stop learning, you stop growing. I think that's pretty self-explanatory, right? And we send our kids to school or we homeschool so they can grow their minds, and we let them develop into this, the person they're meant to be. Why would we stop learning as business owners? So how are you setting a habit of learning? I can't stress enough how important it is to invest in learning and to invest in growth. You'll learn a ton just from experience, but make sure you're investing some time and even some money in learning. I cannot even, I have never added it up, but the amount of money that I've personally invested in personal growth with coaches and trainers, courses. So if I'm wanting to learn something or I'm wanting to grow in an area, I'm willing to invest in that learning and then Not just that, but take it a step further and make it a habit to do that on a weekly basis. It doesn't mean you have to read a book every day. Okay, sometimes our schedules just don't allow that, but have set time aside each week where you are expanding your mind and expanding your knowledge. So again, habit number 2 is you set a habit and prioritize your learning. Never stop learning. Okay. Number 3, habit number 3 is being consistent in all things. Okay. And I know that sounds a little weird, but listen to me on this. Consistency is the key to success in anything, business, weight loss, exercise. Without consistency, you will not succeed. It's as simple as that, right? So you need to consistently do things, even when you don't want to, because that's what leads to growth. When you're thinking about weight loss, you consistently go to the gym. You don't go to the gym twice and then think, oh, that didn't work, right? No, we need to consistently do the things. So if you're not consistent in offering your business opportunity or offering your hosting opportunity, or you're not consistent in engaging with your followers or engaging with your party guests, what do you expect to happen? Right? This needs to be a habit. This needs to be part of your daily checklist where you're engaging with your virtual party guests, where you're messaging and communicating with your host consistently. If you don't consistently have new hostesses, you'll turn into a binge booker. Okay. That's a stressful road to travel down. We've all been there, right? So consistency takes practice and it takes trial and error. But so try a schedule, see what works for you. But this really goes back to having a daily checklist, a weekly checklist, kind of a flow to your week so that you are consistent in doing the things that actually matter, that need to get done. Because you can host coach, right? For a week or two. And then what happens? You fall off on the consistency and your party sales start to tank. You're like, what happened to my business? Your bookings start to tank because you don't have the right people at your parties, right? If we consistently engage with our guests, we'll get results from that. If we consistently offer the hosting opportunity like every single week and every single party, then what happens? We start to grow. Makes sense? So we need to have a habit of consistency, which takes some sort of checklist, some sort of pattern to your week so you make sure you get all the things done. Okay. Habit number 4 is being goal focused. All right. I know I get a lot of side eye when I talk about goals. If you're a member of the squad, we talk about it all the time, right? Goals aren't something everyone loves. It seems like work, but you know what? To grow your business, you need to put in the work, right? And to grow, you need stepping stones. You need something to measure. And when you set goals and then you go after them, you're creating momentum in your business and you're actually setting those stepping stones. You're laying out that foundation. I need to do this first and I need to do this next. I wish I could show you guys, but I have, I'm a big lover of putting stuff on a wall, and I don't, in my office space right now, I don't have a whiteboard, which I kind of miss. I love a whiteboard. And so what I have instead is the big, large Post-it notes. So I have these big, large Post-it notes. So when I need to write something down, instead of erasing the whiteboard, I just pull out a new Post-it note and I write it on my Post-it note, and then it gets stuck to my wall, and then I can take it down. But those goals, guys, the goals and the steps are on my big Post-it notes on my wall. And so it's always visible for me. Also having, we love that we do this in the squad all the time, is every week is, what are your top 3 things for the week? And those 3 things, your top priorities for the week, need to be focused on your goal. Those need to tie back to, I have a goal of, booking 10 parties this month. Okay, well, what's your activity? What are your priorities for the week? They're going to tie to that goal. So we always have to be goal focused. Does that make sense? So being goal focused does take practice, though. We have to keep those goals in front of us. They're in my planner, they're up on my wall, they're literally everywhere. Okay. So make sure that you're at least weekly tracking your stats, checking in on how close you are to your quarterly or weekly or monthly goals, however you're setting them. I'm a huge fan of quarterly goals and then breaking those down into smaller action steps and tactics and strategies. Okay. Habit number 5 is be proactive, not reactive. Okay. Be proactive and not reactive. Guys, take time to think about strategy. Take time to create a plan. Take time away from working in your business, doing the day-to-day tasks, so you can work on your business. Okay. That's what business owners do. And really take time to think about how can I proactively fix this problem that I have instead of I'm just going to call some people out right now. I see this all the time, right? Is we're not proactive in keeping, this is an example. We're not proactive in keeping an eye on our party calendar, right? I've talked about this, I don't know how many times, but I did a calendar check every 2 weeks. So every 2 weeks I would look at my calendar and say, okay, how many parties do I have for the next 30 days? And if you've been a coaching client of mine, you know that's the first question I ask on coaching calls. What's your calendar look like for the next 30 days, right? Why? Because I want you to be proactive. I want you to look at it and go, I'm a little short. Oh, I'm good. Check, right? But here's what happens is when you're not proactive, you're not doing those things to think ahead just a couple of steps. You don't take the time, the 30 seconds that it takes to do this, then what happens is you end up binge booking, right? I see the posts all the time. I'm cleaning out my stash. Somebody, or pick a number between blah, blah, blah. Or we send 1,000 mass text messages. Guys, that is not a proactive strategy. That is a reactive strategy. You looked up and your calendar was empty. Makes sense? And I know I'm getting a little sassy about this, but I'm seeing it all the time right now because it's January and this is common. Had you been proactive in November and December about January, you wouldn't be having to make those posts. You wouldn't have to send the mass messages. You wouldn't have to alienate your warm market. Guys, there's a better way, okay? Just take the time to think ahead and plan ahead, and then you don't have to be reactive to everything that's going on, okay? All right. I know I'm getting sassy on this one, but that's okay. All right. Number six, practice failing often. And so what do I mean by that? I know we're all kind of have this innate fear of failing, right? We're afraid of being wrong. I'm not a fan of the word failure actually, because nothing is a failure technically unless you label it that way. So if you failed, if something didn't work, you learned, right? It's not a failure unless you accept it as one. Everything is an opportunity to learn. And so practice failing often. Something didn't work. You didn't fail. You just learned that way doesn't work, right? That thing didn't work. Let me try something else. I have eliminated that option from my list. Friends, that is how we make really good progress, okay? So just an example, I was always, Facebook is always changing. We know this, right? Everything's always changing, right? And I was always testing ways to improve my parties. Well, if something I was testing didn't work, it wasn't a failure. I was like, well, that didn't work. I was always testing incentives with my team and with my leaders. And there were some incentives where I was like, that totally didn't work the way I wanted it to. It wasn't a failure. It was a learning on my part, right? It was something I learned. Okay, that didn't quite work the way I wanted it to. Let me try something else. So friends, practice failing often and don't be afraid of it. Just take that as an opportunity to learn even more. Okay. And number 7, surround yourself with positive influences. And listen, I am not a woo-woo person. If y'all are new around here, I am not woo-woo, say affirmations in the mirror and expect magic stuff to happen. But I do think and I do know that there is something powerful about surrounding yourself with people who are where you want to go or who are going the same place as you. And when I say positive influences, I mean people who are running the race alongside you. And they are not making excuses. They are not negative Nellies all the time. They are proactive. They're forward thinking. They're willing to learn. Okay. So guys, get out of Facebook groups that are negative all the time. Get out of accountability calls that are negative all the time and they're not solution driven. If you are surrounding yourself with people who are constantly talking about, well, Facebook did this and Facebook did this and I can't do that and I can't do this, find a way around it. If other people are successful, watch them and see what they're doing, right? So surround yourself with people who want to move in the same direction, who are looking for solutions and who are not taking time to complain, right? That's how we do that. That's how we do that, right? All right, guys. So let's review really quick. So 7 habits of successful direct sellers, all right? So number 1, prioritize income producing or forward moving tasks in your day, right? Those have to be prioritized. They need to get done first. Number 2, never stop learning. You should be setting some money and time aside to learn and grow. Number 3, be consistent in all the things. Okay, we don't know if something works unless we consistently do it. And so this means taking time to set up a schedule and to create a task list for your day. Number 4, be goal focused. Those goals should be in front of you. You should be measuring. You should be, paying attention to where you are and how you're tracking with those goals. Number 5, be proactive, not reactive. Take a little time to think before you do something. What is this going to do? How can I better prepare for this season next year? That sort of thing. Number 6, practice failing often. Okay. It's learning, friends. Okay. It's learning. So practice learning often, not failing often, because I don't like that word. And then number 7, surround yourself with positive influences. So get out of those places that make you feel like, okay, get out of those places that are not solution focused. Get out of those places that are just full of people complaining. If it's working for someone else, go figure out why. If someone else is being successful, take the time to figure out why. All right, friends. So I hope you have a fabulous rest of your week. I hope you guys are geared up, ready to tackle January in 2023. And I think that's it, friends. All right. So have a fabulous rest of your week, and I will see you guys soon. Bye, guys.